Hey there friends, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Dominique. I can also be found on Instagram as the Pixie Planner. So as you've seen in the title of this video, I have some secrets to share with you. It's not really a secret, but these are planners and notebooks that I have been using throughout the month of August as a way to use up products that I already had so that they are not going to waste. And also because I really enjoy trying new planning systems and productivity methods, I experiment a lot. And that is really why I have this channel, is to share with you guys what I've come across and hopefully provide some input and assistance when it comes to you trying to choose your own planning system. This is not the video that I had planned to release this week, but after talking to a friend of mine on Instagram last night, Haley, this is all because of you. She really reiterated that my opinion of these different types of planners and systems out there is really helpful for her, and that it is probably really helpful for a lot of other people. At least I'm really hoping so. So I figured I would show you what I had been dabbling with throughout the month of August, and this does not replace my Planner Perfect system. These are just extensions. This is how I am able to organize all the thoughts in my head that maybe are not meant to be placed in my planner. And this is also how I learn ways of being more mindful, different methods and techniques that I could maybe transfer into my planner system that I use on a regular basis, which again is my Planner Perfect Traveler's Notebook. I did a recent video of that whole setup for September. I will leave that linked in the cards if you want to check it out. But enough rambling, let's just jump in. So these are some of the other planners and notebooks that I have been playing with throughout the month of August, and we'll go through them one by one. I'm not going to get into extensive detail on what I'm exactly using as far as stickers, if there's any deco or, anything like that. I'm just going to talk you through my thought process when I was using these particular books. So let's start from bottom up. Now, we all know that Stalogy has become a big hit in the planner and journaling community. I have had a B6 Stalogy just laying around, and I figured, you know what? I want to put it to use. So let me see what everyone's raving about and see what I can do for myself as a type of combination planner and journal and mindfulness practice. Now, this is a Foxy Fix cover, and I do have a clear cover from Phelps Designs. The stickers that you see here, these two are from Redbubble, which I highly recommend checking out that website if you want just some fun vinyl stickers for your planner. And then this one here is from Virgo and Paper. So as I mentioned, I started dabbling in August with all of these books. So I'm just going to flip right to August. Now, I went ahead and I drew out my own monthly calendar, and this was very much inspired by Caden's mom shops. I will leave her information down below. Check out her Instagram account, and I'll be mentioning a couple of IGers that I think you should absolutely check out if you are a Stalogy lover, or if you want to try to incorporate this notebook into your planning style. So as I mentioned, this was very much inspired by her. So I've got my month on one page. Then here I use that for my big events, my birthdays, obviously to clean. And then I wrote out my bills on the very right side here. So that way I can just kind of keep track and an eye on all of those coming up. Then I started using it on the 10th, and I wanted to see how this would work out, using it as kind of my Planner Perfect method, my scripting style. So I dabbled for the first 2 days in that, you're going to see me bounce around a lot in here. And again, this is because I like testing things out, so that way I can report back to you guys, or, you know, give my input to friends on IG. So then I went ahead and I did an hourly layout with my to-do list on the side. That worked out absolutely great for my time blocking, but the list making is not my favorite, only because, and you've heard me, you know, say this a lot, there's no intention behind it. I'm not creating a day that I want to live when it's just do this, do that. You know, it's not the same to me, but I wanted to test it out just to see. That's why I love my scripting method so much. And then this happened to be the weekend where Lola, my French bulldog, turned 1, and I did a mini weekly review at the end. Now I put some tab tape here. This is also from Phelps Designs, just to mark the end of that week and where my notes started. So Dakshina from YouTube, she is another one that I absolutely think you guys need to check out. Her Stalogy videos are some of the absolute best. They're long, and so if you love long videos like I do, then go check her out. Either way, check her out. But she was talking about how she likes to set her week up, so a day per page, and then at the end of the week, that's when she starts her note pages. That way, when you're flipping back through your Stalogy, you know what notes coordinate with that week before, and you kind of know what your thoughts were going on that week and what you were learning, and it's just easy to find versus, you know, scattered in the back of your notebook or even in between. So I used a couple of note pages. Then I went right into the next week. Again, did the hourly, and then we come to the end of that week. Never did the weekly review. But here I went ahead and I made lots of notes, because in August, and this is what also made me think of trying out different notebooks and planners, because I was reading Getting Things Done again, and I also read Essentialism. So you'll see kind of my how my planning changed with when I was reading each book. But Getting Things Done, of course, that's like your productivity system. Essentialism is saying no to the things that really don't matter, the things that don't push your life forward or bring you joy, leaving room for only saying yes to those that really make changes to your life, that you really want to do, not do because somebody else wants you to or you feel obligated. It's a really great book, Essentialism. Again, I'll have that down below. So I was reading my Getting Things Done, okay? And you can see this is very, you know, all time management. I mean, some days were just super slow because I work 9 to 10 hour days, but this was very much more task oriented, which Getting Things Done is pretty much that, but in an organized way. It's more of an organization system. And then when I read Essentialism, this is where, and this is probably my favorite method of using the Stalogy. So when I was reading Essentialism, I wanted to really combine my planning and journaling in one. You know, what really means the most to me? Well, that's keeping track of things that I'm grateful for, keeping track of my good habits, keeping track of my mood, how I'm feeling in the morning right when I wake up, and then also just little note taking as well. So this is where I'm bringing in my mindfulness practice and my intention setting. So I came up with my own key, and I know I'm flipping all over the place here. Actually, let me find, here it is. Okay, so I came up with my own key, kind of bullet journal style to use. And so with mood, how am I feeling today? Gratitude, dash for summary of the day or note, star for one good deed, or how I served someone else, and then plus for positive habits completed. And so I wrote down some random thoughts. And so I'm starting to use the key here. So I have the sun here just marking what time I woke up. And then we get into my gratitude. These are my tasks. And then I'm going into what good habits I completed. And then that dash is for any notes or memory keeping for the day. So I'm incorporating a lot of mindfulness in this. I'm still keeping track of these habits. These habits are not lost. You know, sometimes when I work off of a monthly tracker or a weekly tracker, it's like on a page over here that I don't always remember to look at when I'm working on other pages over here. So if I'm making a point to include, and that plus stands for my good habits, if I'm making a point to include listing out my good habits that I complete in a day, then, you know, that really is working best for me. So again, all of these things that I've tested, it's things that have not worked for me and things that have worked well. And so those hourly pages that you saw in the beginning, that did not work for me. I did not like it. I'm very much, and I will link this video in the cards, I'm very much someone who is an obliger with rebel tendencies, and that comes from the 4 Tendencies book by Gretchen Rubin. And I did a video on that and why you might not have found planner peace yet, so check that out. But I am an obliger with rebel tendencies. So when I go to an hourly layout here and, you know, I have to do something on a particular time, if it's an appointment, that's different. But if I'm saying, okay, computer work at 10 o'clock, and this is like a really bad example because I just worked all those days, but, you know, filming this time, I did not stick to those times because I'm looking at it and I'm like, you can't tell me what to do, even though it was me that wrote it. And so I'm like, nope, I'm gonna do it whenever I want to. And that happens so often to me where I write down specific timed things or specific tasks in just a list format, and I look at it, you know, the next day or the day after, and I'm like, nah, I don't feel like it, because there wasn't any inspiration or intention set behind it. So this way works definitely better for me, but not as good as the scripting method that I've been using. But this is the next best thing for me, and I really enjoyed doing this. And so I did this for a little while, and then I do have September set up, just, you know, because I might continue with it, but September set up, and yeah, that's what I've been doing in the B6 Stalogy, and it's all over the place. But this is what I love about a blank book, is you can just try everything and you pick what works best for you. So my Stalogy I'm still playing around with because I do enjoy it, and if I can incorporate journaling with it, that's great. It's a method for me to use up these notebooks that I have had and have done nothing with. So next I have an A6 Hobonichi. This is the spring edition. And I've had this cover for a while now because I have been in and out of Hobonichi over the years. And it's, I love this cover so much, but it's such a beautiful compact size. And because I'm just wanting to test out the scripting method in different sizes, I went ahead and I grabbed my A6 Hobonichi that had just been sitting there, and I decided that I would go ahead and give it a try. So let me turn to August here. So on the opening blank page, I use this as kind of my running task list, my inbox, which is from getting things done. So I wanted to see how it would work, having an inbox right here at that front starting page of the month, and then that way I knew exactly where to go whenever I had things to add to it, instead of, you know, wondering, okay, what page should I leave off with my notes? I went ahead and I just used that. So I did a little bit of scripting here, and the scripting that I've done are on days that I just don't have a lot going. I work full time, and again, it's 9 or 10-hour days that I'm working. So when I'm at work, that is my schedule there. I do not have my planner because I work off of a computer system and it's confidential information, so I can't have that stuff in my planner. So I thought the A6 might be nice and compact enough for those days where I just don't have much going on. So I went ahead and I tested it out. And it was a Saturday and Sunday that I did this, but I really liked how it turned out. I was still being intentional with my weekend and making sure that I wasn't just focusing on tasks and must do. I was also focusing on things that I wanted to do that would bring joy to my days. So I did that for Saturday, Sunday. Then I went ahead and I tested out a to-do list with the hourly side here just to kind of see what I thought. Didn't like it because it's hourly. So I went back to my scripting, and I really enjoyed this. I know this is very, very small writing space, but again, it still is allowing me to keep myself mindful and keep my intentions and my desires at the front. So even though I can't go into as much detail because there's not as much space, this actually worked pretty well for me. So I wanted to make sure, especially for those of you who follow me because I introduced the Planner Perfect method to you, or you just enjoy seeing how I use the scripting method. I wanted to make sure that you could see different sizes with the Planner Perfect method. You don't have to have just those specific inserts that they sell in their shop. You can use any planner and get started with the scripting method. And so my A6, I really enjoyed for that. I did eventually switch over to testing out a couple of other techniques and did just a little journaling there. Did a little journaling here. So, went back to my to-do lists, Lola's birthday again, but it's been fun just kind of testing it out and seeing how I feel about these different sizes, because my my everyday planner, my Planner Perfect system, is in a standard notebook. And then I showed you my B6, and then now the A6. These sizes are just so incredibly different, and it's kind of fun to play with, especially if these are products that you already have. And, again, that's my thing. I want to use what I have, but I want to be able to show you some of the thoughts and ideas as I was using them. Hopefully, this will help to give some better input and inspiration for you guys. So I went back to this key that I did in my B6, and I really just enjoy it. Didn't do it for a couple of days. And then in September, that's blank right now, but I really enjoyed this particular key where I'm tracking, again, my feelings, my emotions, my gratitude, my habits, all of those positive mindfulness practices. That's what I'm really enjoying in these two books that I just showed you. So this was just a quick look at my A6, and I haven't been playing in this as much as the B6 Stalogy, just because the B6, I like that I can take notes at the end of each week, and it's organized still. With this, there's no note pages in between the months or the weeks. All of the note pages are going to be in the back, and this has never worked for me where I keep note pages in the back of a planner. I've tried that for years, and I just don't think to come back here and look, and it doesn't compute in my mind, when I'm trying to relate these notes to something that I was doing on a specific month or week. So this is something that I just haven't been playing around quite as much with because of the lack of the you know, customizing it for those note pages in between the weeks. But it certainly is so stinking cute and adorable. Again, this sticker is from Redbubble. I'm obsessed with their stickers. And then lastly, this one I have shown on my Instagram before. This little baby is something that I've been carrying around with me for a few months now. So when it comes to random ideas, random thoughts, things that I'm trying to process, this is where all of that goes. I don't have to think about, okay, what section in my planner can I write this idea? Or do I have an extra sticky note that will allow me to write this, but not have it permanently in my planner? And so that was something that I always ran into, a problem. And so this is a Leuchtturm pocket size notebook, and I have the lined pages. And I just, for this small size, I like the lined because my writing just looks way more neat. And so this is where I've just been processing all of my random thoughts and ideas, my brain dumps, anything that I need to get out of my head and not, you know, bog down my planner with, especially if it's things that I don't have to keep. I do better writing through thoughts and ideas versus talking about them. So this is my space to do that. I made this little felt folder, and wrapped inside is a Goulet Pens pocket insert. This is Tomoe River paper, and I had finished another one, so this is a new one, and I used this to write out list for errands, list for groceries. So when I completed the other one, I just tossed it and I put a new one in there. So again, this one hasn't been really secretive. I've shared this notebook before. And by the way, this is an Outlander Claire from Chic Sparrow. This is by far my favorite traveler's notebook from Chic Sparrow because the feel is just perfect. The way it wraps around my inserts and my notebook is perfect. I do have a link that I will leave down below for 10% off your first Chic Sparrow purchase. If you have any interest in checking them out, I highly recommend this company. The quality is amazing. So I'll leave that link down below. And of course, I always appreciate it when you guys use any of my affiliate links. This is what helps keep this channel going. All right, so that is a run through of the notebooks and planners I have been secretly using throughout the month of August. So hopefully this gave you guys a little bit of input and maybe a little inspiration on what you could use your empty notebooks and planners for. I hate being wasteful, and you know, with this channel, I do receive a lot of free products to review and just to, you know, give my input on. And so I can definitely collect things, and I want to start being a little bit more mindful on using them and putting them to good use. But if you have any questions for me, as always, leave them down below in the comments. I love hearing from you guys, and thank you so very much for all of your support. I will see you again soon in my next video. Bye.